friends, welcome to Jaja Draws. So I decided that it was time to do something about the appearance of my channel. So this video is about my banner, which felt like needed some work. And then after this, probably in my next video or a video coming up sometime in the future, I'm gonna do my best to figure out some sort of animation for my video intros. Something created by me. I've never used animation software before, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But designing a new banner for my channel was fairly straightforward, and I thought I could probably manage that without too much difficulty since it's just another image. I got started on it sort of without any idea of where I was going. Like so many of my projects, I just kind of put the stylus down and started doodling. And I did end up going with this idea finally of sort of two chibi representations of me on either side doing some form of art, while slightly more not realistically proportioned? Whatever. Maybe I should have taken more art classes. I don't know. I never have the words that I want. Anyway, well, a slightly more realistic version of me actually drew in the center. And I have to say, I'm relatively pleased with how it turned out. It's not the most intricate or wonderful art I've ever done, but I really like the little chibi me's. I like their little fat legs. And I like the giant marker and the little paintbrush, and I don't know, it just made me happy. It made me happy drawing this. And one of the things I realized, I said this to a friend the other day, because I'm also an author. I write things. I haven't been able to write anything basically all year. And I said, the thing about writing is that it takes emotional energy for me to accomplish. But the thing about visual art is that it brings me peace to do it. So I just like these little chibis because I guess they kind of represent how I feel the visual art that I do makes me feel on the inside. Sort of younger and happy and freer and less constrained by reality, shall we say. If you're wondering about the hairstyles, not only on the chibis but also on the central figure, I shaved my head towards the beginning of quarantine, and it's been growing back in. And right now, I have the most amazing, I have naturally very, very straight hair. It just goes stick straight right out of my head. But, because I'm home all the time and I've been pin curling it because I like to, and also it sort of poofs it up and out of my way. And so I end up with, honestly, I look like I'm rocking anime hair in my real life every single day. It's one of the best things that quarantine has brought to me is this new hairstyle. I probably will keep growing it out because I had long hair my whole life, and I miss being able to braid it and sort of easily pin it up without half of it escaping because it's too short to really stay in an updo. But for the time being, I'm just really enjoying what amounts to a massive hair creature on top of my head with a mind of its own. So that is what I drew in these representations of me. The massive, just the pile of hair on my head that I have right now. My chibis are both wearing socks because that's what I do. Socks, shorts, some random t-shirt that I pulled out of my drawer. The real me, the slightly less representational version of me in the middle is wearing a bathrobe because 9 times out of 10 that is an article of clothing that I don on top of whatever underlayers I have these days. I gotta say, I do not like working from home, but I love never having to wear anything other than a bathrobe as my outer layer. I am naturally a person who trends towards the cozy, so most of my days are spent on the couch with my work laptop on my lap, some form of exercise wear or comfortable pajama as a bottom layer, and then bathrobe, and then, you know, anywhere from 1 to 2 levels of blanket on top, depending on how cold it is that day. Obviously, I decided to go digital with this piece. I've been thinking recently about which mediums I really, really love. To my surprise, I found that I have adored working in watercolor. I didn't think that was going to be true. The first time I ever tried watercolor, the lack of control I felt, I don't think other people feel this way, but the lack of control that I felt over how the color spreads anywhere that is wet really frustrated me, and I wasn't sure how to handle it. But since then, I realized that, first of all, a huge part of that was just my inexperience and not knowing. And I've also just spent more time watching other people who are comfortable with watercolor and understanding that I need to take it slower and work with it and not expect it. I think I've always handled all forms of visual art almost as if they're rough sculpture. Like, I'm gonna rough the shape out with a chainsaw and then that's what it's gonna be, and I'm not gonna refine it, and I only get one go at it. And when I moved on to painting with acrylics, to a large extent, I feel like that's still kind of the way I handle acrylics, because they're not transparent. And with an opaque art style, even if you go back in and keep working at it, you are covering up what you did before. So theoretically, you could have laid it down that way the first time. So even if you're adjusting, there's no, what am I trying to say? Even if you're adjusting, there's no added benefit to the number of adjustments you go through. Anyway, there's no benefit to those layers of adjustment. They don't add anything. You could have just gone in straight and done it right from the get-go. But that's not true with watercolor. With watercolor, the layering is a huge part of it. Like, it's a feature, not a bug. And to my surprise, I have discovered that I really enjoy that. I enjoy those thin layers that you slowly build up, which I wasn't aware I had the temperament for. I am impatient by nature. I get very easily bored, and I like to be able to do things in one fell swoop. So I'm not sure whether it's, you know, the time I've spent editing or the time I've spent working away at getting better at art, what aspect of it finally broke through to me. But I've really been enjoying watercolors. So I really like watercolors. Aside from that, I really like traditional drawing, and then I'm enjoying coloring that with marker, sort of as a quick color method. Watercolor obviously is going to take a really long time, and acrylics for me, I don't know if I don't have the skill yet and I need to keep working at it, but I tend to treat acrylics as a paint by number. Like, I'll work off a reference and then just fill it in, and it's not as creatively satisfying for me as other art forms are. So I've really been enjoying watercolor. I've really been enjoying marker. I haven't been enjoying digital as much. There are things I really love about digital. I love the ability to do highlights and shadows on top of layers that you've got locked so that you are only coloring on the pixels that already have a color. I love the ability to adjust the transparency of a layer. I love the ability to grab something that you drew the wrong size and just adjust it to a different size and then also adjust where it sits in the image, which is ultimately why I decided to do this image that way, because I wasn't entirely sure. In fact, I'm still not entirely sure. I'm doing this voiceover before I do the adjustment on my page, how it's going to sit in the banner frame, which means that since it's digital, I can sort of go back and adjust it, make it fit better, change where the title actually ends up laying. Like, it's a more functional format for something that you know you're going to need to adjust. Not to mention, it's really easy to record in digital. I do really love the fact that I can take my tablet with me anywhere, and as long as I'm recording what I'm doing, I can make a video out of that, as opposed to having to have my camera set up and my tripod and a relatively clean background and a light source and all of those other things that go into recording when I'm working in a traditional format. But that being said, I think once I'm done with this video and once I'm done with the animation, which I think will almost certainly end up being done digitally, I think I'm gonna go off digital for a while and work with more traditional formats. Obviously, life takes many a hairy turn and I can't promise anything. Who knows what might happen. If I'm gonna suddenly need to be somewhere else and my tablet is the easiest art medium to carry with me. But I would like to spend some more time working in the mediums that I find the most soothing. And those are definitely the ones that are more tactile and where I get to hear the scratch of a pencil on paper. If you've done digital and you've done traditional, you know, it's not the same. And traditional is what I find most soothing, and I just find myself in need of soothing right now, so that's what I'm going to do. At any rate, I hope you like my new banner. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like digital or traditional artwork better. And I will see you next week. I hope everyone has spring coming wherever you are. It's coming here. Not coming fast enough, but, you know, it's getting here, and I appreciate it. Oh, I've kind of become aware of the fact that it really is sort of obligatory to say this, so God, I apologize because I hate it, but, you know, like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. You do you, boo-boo. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm just saying, if you want to help out, that would be great. But if not, no hard feelings. I understand. See you later. Bye.